Is minoxidil effective for hair regrowth? I'm going to get straight into it, and the answer to that question is yes. Okay, so stick around for the entire video, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I believe the answer to that is yes, and I'm going to be using my own personal experience. Okay, so when I first found out that I had thinning hair on my scalp and I was basically going bald, one of the first products that I used was minoxidil. Okay, I used the Kirkland brand. It was the 5%. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys what happened when I used that minoxidil. So what happened when I used that minoxidil, I would apply it to my head twice a day. Okay, I would apply it to the front part where I was thinning, and I would apply it to the crown area. I was also thinning in that area as well. And what ended up happening, I would say after, I want to say a month, maybe 2 months, I started to notice that hairs were growing in on the front part of my head and on the crown area of my head as well. Okay, now it did begin to grow in, but I will say this though, okay, it never matched the thickness of the hair surrounding of the hair where I wasn't balding. Okay, so for instance, like my hair is much thicker on the sides. Okay, now the areas that is thinning is obviously not that thick, right? Okay, but as that hair began to grow in my thinning areas, you can obviously see the new growth, but it never matched the thickness of the sides of my hair. Okay, it never matched that thickness. No matter how much I used the minoxidil, now again, was it effective for hair regrowth? Yes. Okay, but then also it never matched the thickness of my hair that wasn't thin, that wasn't balding. Okay, so if minoxidil is something that you want to use, hey, okay, go for it. But what I would say is, especially if you're bald like me, or you're going bald and your hair is thinning, I'm not saying that minoxidil is the answer to cure baldness, or it's going to totally grow back all your hair. Okay, I've never seen that. I've never seen that on a YouTube video. I mean, you see a lot of before and after pictures on Google and stuff like that. You know, that's a whole different story, but I've never seen that. Okay, and even they'll tell you like, hey, this is not something that's gonna totally just grow your hair, all the way grow your hair back. You know, so what I would say about minoxidil though is that yes, it does work. It's just that in my experience, it never matched the thickness of my healthy hair, I guess you would say, if that makes any sense. Okay, so what I would suggest is that if you're balding, or you are bald like me and you want to continue to use minoxidil, I would say cut your hair really low. Okay, like I'm bald. Okay, so obviously my hair is cut really low. I'm basically bald. Okay, now even though I no longer use minoxidil. Okay, I just cut my hair myself. I no longer use minoxidil. Okay, I don't have anything bad to say about it. Well, actually, the cons is it makes your scalp dry. Okay, it makes it really flaky. That's the only con that I had about it. It's made my scalp really flaky. Does it help regrow your hair though? Yes, but it never matched, in my experience. Okay, I can only speak for myself. In my experience, it never matches the thickness of your healthy hair. It never matched that thickness. So what I mean by that is you'll always see that obvious thinning area right here and right here. You'll always see that. So maybe your thinning areas are somewhere else, but for me, it's right here in the front and right here on the crown. Okay, but I'll tell you this: if I were to use the minoxidil now, if I were to apply it to the front and apply it to the crown of my head, and then keep cutting it low, this would this would blend even more. Okay, so let me not go too much into that though. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that if you're using minoxidil for balding purposes, because you're going bald, what I would say based on my own personal experience, okay, what I would say is just cut your hair really low, especially if you have thicker hair like me. Cut your hair really low, and if you want to continue using minoxidil, the results they'll seem a lot smoother. Because if you're trying to keep more hair on the sides, or more hair on, more hair around your thinning areas, it's gonna be really hard to blend that in. You're gonna always see how it obviously looks different from the rest of your hair. That's just my experience, okay? And I use minoxidil, I want to say like 2.5, close to 3 years altogether. And that was my experience. Okay, so yes, it does regrow hair to a certain extent, yes. But in my experience, it never regrew it to that same thickness. So it does work. So again, I know I kind of keep repeating myself here, but if you want to if you want like a really low haircut like me, which is basically bald, I think that's how it's going to benefit you the most if you're using it for your head. Now, if you're using it for like your beard or something like that, I don't have experience with that. Okay, but now if you're using it for your head or something, if you're using it for your head, for your scalp, because you're balding, cut your hair really low like this. Okay. Because when you do it when you cut your hair really low like this, it's going to blend in much better. And you're not going to see those obvious balding spots wherever you have them in your hair. So again, is minoxidil effective for hair regrowth? Yes. But in my experience, it doesn't regrow it to that same thickness. So, and then on top of that, in my personal experience, the cons behind using minoxidil on your scalp, it gets really dry wherever you apply to that. It gets really scaly. Okay, and I'm not knocking Kirkland brand and their minoxidil and stuff like that. I don't want to put them out here like they're a bad product or whatever, because I feel like they're a great product. Outside of just leaving your scalp kind of like dry and flaky, that's the only issue that I have with them. So just sharing my personal experience with you guys. Hopefully this video is helpful. I know that it's a lot of, people make videos, people put all types of foolishness on Google, in regards to images and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people out here like really curious, like, okay, does minoxidil regrow my hair? Can I regrow my full hair back and stuff like that? And you may go to Google like I used to do, before and after pictures, minoxidil, does it work before and after? People put a lot of foolish stuff on there, fake pictures and stuff like that. But I just came on here just to be, honest and give you guys my personal experience. I never felt like it just totally regrew my hair back. I never felt like that. Now, did I see obvious regrowth? Yes. Okay. But it came in the form, at first it came in the form of like peach fuzz, really light hairs, really slight, like I say, like after that 1.5, 2 months, especially at like that 3-month mark, you can obviously see that the hair is growing back. But what ends up happening is it's a thinner version of what was there before. Okay, so it's just, I don't know how to. That's the best way I can explain it. I don't want to make this video too long. It's gonna grow. I don't want to say it's gonna grow back. Your hair grows, okay, but it never matches the other hair, the other thickness of the other healthy hair follicles. Okay. I'm not a professional by any means, as you guys can tell. I'm just a guy on here simply sharing my experience with the world. Hopefully it can help somebody. You definitely want to consult your dermatologist. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just simply on here just sharing my experience with the world and my experience with minoxidil. So feel free to chime in. Feel free to ask any questions. I'll try my best to reply within 1 day. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Hit that subscribe button up. Peace out. Have a good one.